All right, I'm Angel,
I'm Ivy.
and this is
My parents told me.
In my younger years, when the world was but a
New experience,
my spirit was adobe clay gathered from beneath the rivers
shaped by my mother's hand.
and given to my father. I was born where,
The streams ran golden,
like God through the rivers,
and water flowed free.
like the blood through my veins,
My mother taught me how to be like the rushing water, to accept what cannot be controlled.
is to be a gentle current that flows.
If you long for what cannot be changed, you will eternally
Be
be
chained.
chained to an earth that does not tilt its axis to you.
like water.
I must be soft and conform to what contains me. The world is not a stage on which to perform and beg for release from inadequacy.
But my
But my
mother
mother also told me when the tide becomes too strong,
I must not falter too long.
inside me crashes the power of ocean waves. That mighty roar is what keeps us
me
safe.
Like a pebble upon the beach.
Eroded by the tide.
You must be strong, my father taught me. You must stand
Stand
your
your
ground,
ground.
my father cautioned me. You must keep strong like the earth, and you must not falter.
even when everything around you seems to waver.
You are the man of the family.
And the strength of your wife,
You are the provider of your children. My
my
father told me. Angel, I toiled from the earth for you, my fathers and my brothers. We sowed the dirt
and reap the crops.
and the harshness of the tierra mexicana.
We nourished you with the plants,
Watered by the sweat of our brow, we carried you on the yoke of our backs and fed you with the fruit of our labor, blood of my blood, and father of my grandchildren. This is what is best for you.
At times I thought,
That I was too soft
too prone to collapsing,
to carry the weight of my father's home and carry the family upon my back. Father, I'm not just another
on the
branch
family tree,
to diverge into children and
to
grandchildren,
rear children,
to carry on a name I wasn't always proud of. And even if you were to decide to prune me like a corrupted limb, I am still family. When the tree branches of my veins
fills with a familiar void of emptiness and longing, my mother helps me seek the roots,
of my sadness,
turn over leaves.
trace its sap to the source.
When I feel ricocheting within my ribs familiar pains of rejection,
She takes my hands,
until they fade like old,
old ink,
from parchment until they
turn
turn
pink.
From scarlet droplets mixed in,
From old wounds reopened again.
My mother tells me I need not fashion myself into a rigid mold. No, I wouldn't be another
Faceless clone, a skeleton of broken will and broken bones.
My father's traditions
and his unbridled machismo always burned
against my skin,
like dry desert heat.
or melted iron.
My father's ancient values pressed against my heaving chest like a closing wall. I was trapped between stone and iron in this house of sons and fathers.
There's no room for mothers or daughters.
My father taught me how to fight. Keep your fist closed and your thumb secure. Never strike first, because then you are a coward. Never hesitate to strike, because then you are a coward. I did not raise my sons to be cowards.
Be like the earth.
And keep your ground.
Keep your fist dense like a rock,
And your swing light and fast.
like a blade of iron.
I was 6 years old
when I learned from my mother that words are the only thing that leaves bruises upon our souls. I was 6 years old when toxic words spoke forth easily
from a slip.
of my ferocious lips. All it takes is a mischance of thought.
One wrong word.
Escape my tongue.
She unraveled.
She was undone.
When I was young and bullied at school, I let my legs become strong roots that entwined in the earth, and I did not falter to cast stones or harsh whispers.
But a tree that does not bend
Cannot keep its ground.
and eventually
Snaps.
snaps.
So I felt like I was locked up behind bars with the great pressure on my shoulders, never going far, and trapped beneath a boulder that nothing would change, that I was too strange to conform to older traditions. When those three ugly words,
escaped from my lips, my mother told me the story.
the boy with the fence.
Every day, in a streak of blinded anger, his father gave him a hammer, and he drove bullets of nails into the skin of a wooden fence framing his backyard.
One day, his father asked him to remove each of the
100 nails. The boy was shocked to see that no matter how carefully he tore apart metal from wood, an irreparable hole laid where smooth bark should.
My mother,
mother told me
our hearts are the wooden planks.
that cruel words leave holes and no apology can fill what gapes within. The words you leave in someone's heart never escapes them. It becomes a part of their identity.
I told my mother that I was bisexual when I was 13.
She told me she still loved me.
I never told my father. Although my father never agreed,
My mother always guided me.
when my father did not,
She cautioned me through hazardous loves.
and solitary sorrows.
My mother warned me that boy is all blacks
And whites.
Your color spills out of your lines.
lines.
It blinds it with new wavelengths of lights
He's
he's
never
never seen
seen
before.
before.
He leaves you with inadequacies trailing out the door.
Before you realize,
He was born
colorblind.
colorblind,
So here's to the two people who raised us for 2 decades.
who guided us through an unforgiving haze,
I will find strength.
but not in your way,
I will be loud but soft.
like the ocean wave.
It took me 20 years
It took me 22 years
to realize, Papa,
Mama,
you
were right all along.